There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. No, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the Name.
Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You're watching Casino is the Name, and I'm sitting here with Sheena, you know, the legendary contract specialist.
Ooh.
A lot of weight on that.
Yeah, it is. It made me sweat a little bit.
Yeah. So we had did a video before, and there's been a lot of questions about government contracts. And so I wanted to just ask her on camera some of the questions that I see that you guys ask, and I'm sure she's seen quite a few of your questions.
A whole lot of questions.
So one of the questions that I get, well, that I see a lot in the comment section and things like that is, what website should people use to get a government contract? Where do they go?
So it's what website? So it's not really a website.
No, it's not.
It is a series of process. And the very first thing you must have is a business. So whatever it is that you do, you have to get that business set up legally, Secretary of State, EIN, sometimes you need a business license, and then you get a DUNS number. So you go to Dun & Bradstreet and you register, you put all your information in, it's pretty self-explanatory, and then they will contact you once your DUNS number is ready, and it's like a 9-digit, 8-digit number. Yeah. Kind of like a social security number for your business. Right. And it actually helps you build business credit. So what the Dun & Bradstreet will do after you get your numbers, they're going to try to solicit you to pay. It's free, 100% free, as long as you check, which I just found out, as long as you check that you're trying to do government contracting, they will give you your DUNS number for free, and it will come back really, really quickly. So that's the second step after your business is set up. Then you have to register in SAM.gov. So once you go through SAM.gov, it's a very, very, very tedious process. It takes some time. It takes some reading. And then you go to the very end of that is also going to take you to another site called DSBS. And so in DSBS, that's basically what the government looks at when they're looking for a company to do the services that you provide. So then after that's done, it's going to take you back through SAM.gov. So within that, even though that's a step in itself, within SAM.gov, you have to have your NAICS. And so your NAICS is tied to what business industry you're in. It's basically like a census for business. Yeah. So if you're in construction, there's a NAICS. If you're in childcare, there's a NAICS. If you're in landscape, there's a NAICS. But then also there's overarching NAICS that cover all of those things as well.
So I'm going to slow down because
it's a lot.
She's saying a lot, okay? So a lot of you people out there don't know anything about government contracts, and she's speaking from God level right now.
Oh my God.
So
sorry.
So, and she answered actually a lot of the other questions that we see is, do you have to have an LLC or do you have to be a business in order to get government contracts? I can't even believe that question is being asked, but there's different places that people are in, understanding this stuff. So yes. Be a business.
You have to have a business. Yes. And you have to know what that business is going to be.
Right.
That's not a question for someone else.
Which is the other question that we see a lot is what business should you start?
In relation to government contracting. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
whatever your business is. That's, whatever you're trying to go into business for, whatever your thing is, try to get a government contract with that. But we're not necessarily like giving people ideas as far as what you can do. Like
and a lot of people say, what's the easiest? And I'm like, there's no such thing when it comes to government contracting.
It's for you because everybody's at different places. But you talked about the NAICS, right?
Right.
So NAICS.
Some people say NAICS.
Yeah.
NAICS.
NAICS. But basically, wherever your business is, there's a code that the government uses to find out what that business is. So if you have a construction business, your NAICS would match up with construction. That way they can look at the code and say, okay, all of these businesses are coded for construction, so they know that they're construction businesses.
Right.
What something else you were saying? What else? You were saying a lot. I'm trying. I couldn't.
Sorry.
It was a lot. She's
So
see, because for her that's like the beginning. You know,
It's-
like
yeah.
this is not even. So
that's not even the nitty gritty of
right.
it. So
the
basically,
DUNS number.
yeah, the DUNS is
it's
the
like
government requires that.
Yeah,
Which
right.
I don't really know why, but it's separate from your EIN because some
Right.
people will argue me down. No, I have my EIN. It's not the same as the DUNS number.
Right. So let's say your EIN number is, I guess, like your social security number,
Yeah.
but the DUNS number allows government agencies to actually report on whether or not they think that your business was a good business or not.
Correct.
Like
yeah.
if you did all the work and there was no issue, they can say, hey, this company was great. If it was not good, they can say, hey, this company, I ain't really feeling them.
Like a rating.
Yeah.
Ish.
It's like
yeah.
a personal, it's much more specialized, I believe, than say like a EIN number, which is just a credit rating in a way. But your DUNS number also affects credit as well.
Your business credit. I mean, it's one of the main reporting agencies. It's more than is Equifax or Experian are the ones for business, whatever. But DUNS is the main reporting agency for your credit. So you're doing a 2 for 1 with the DUNS number.
Yeah. So your DUNS number is
abundantly
in many ways more important than your EIN. Now you can't open a bank account without your EIN number, but pretty much everything else is
that.
Okay.
Business email. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
No to Gmail, no to AOL, no to, even though some people will swear that they got a contract and it doesn't matter, it matters. Like some people didn't get their SBA EIDL loan because they had the Gmails for for their business email.
Start your business not Gmail. Start your business email, no Gmail. Okay?
Correct. Yes.
Start your business email, no Gmail.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. All the way.
So that I didn't know that people were being turned down for the EIDL.
Yeah, I have a friend that works at the bank. I was like, ooh, didn't know that, but yeah, and it's a cheap thing, so just set up the right way.
Okay.
The government's looking at that.
Step 1, you said create a
business.
Mm-hmm. Create a business. Step 2, DUNS number.
Yeah.
Step 3.
I guess essentially step 3 is not damn SAM.gov. It's really your NAICS. Choosing your NAICS code.
Okay.
Your primary NAICS, and I would say up to 5 total is good. But not like
secondary NAICS.
Secondary NAICS. Like for me, I do facility maintenance.
Okay.
So facility support services, the number is 561-210. But then under that, you got to know these. You got to know them off the top of your head. And so in that includes landscaping, janitorial. But landscaping and janitorial have their own NAICS. Gotcha. So I'll put that underneath as my secondary. So I mean, some people have 100 NAICS, and
that's crazy.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so just like with construction, right? You have residential construction, and then you have
commercial
construction.
Yeah,
you have new building, then you have remodeling, and then you have so it specializes. So when they're looking to see who specializes in whatever, they can go to your NAICS.
Go to your NAICS. So then the next step is the SAM.gov.
SAM.gov.
That's NAICS is a requirement when you're going through the SAM.gov process, and then DSBS is at the end.
So is it dsbs.gov?
I don't remember. I believe so, but it's incorporated in the SAM.gov registration. So at the very end, it will tell you to click on the button, but you have to make sure that information is correct because that's literally the site that they go to. They don't go to SAM.gov.
Right.
You have to be registered in SAM.
You got to get set up in there.
Yes, and then they go into DSBS, and DSBS is not the easiest site to work with, so you have to make sure, even go back in there and see if your stuff is accurate. Your address, that's another question about my home address and all that, so maybe we can get to that later. But so DSBS, make sure that's accurate. It goes into back into SAM, and then what SAM is going to say, okay, you're done. It's pending. And then you're going to get an email from DLA that's going to say your CAGE code is, you have to go to this process. I forgot the process, forgive me, but it's to a site to get your CAGE code. CAGE code is 5 digits. Yeah, like there's no business without the CAGE code. Yeah. No government contracting business without your CAGE code.
I'm trying to remember mine.
Mine is 7.
Mine's 7 something.
7WUN7.
I just know mine's 7 something.
But you got to know these things off the top of your head.
I have a lot going on.
Yeah, like
I have in my email though.
that's important. So the reason why that email about your cage code is so important is because they may say, hey, this is wrong with your SAM. You have to go back and fix it. And you have like 72 hours to do it, and they're not playing. Like,
They're not playing.
Will just you'll be pending forever for the rest of your life. Yeah. So you have to make sure that information is, you follow up with them. They're going to probably see some conflicting things, like mine with my address was conflicting. So they're like, which is it? Where is your business address for real? So that's something that you have to pay attention to. Pay attention to your email.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we got our cage code.
Yeah. Now you should be ready.
Now are we ready to bid? You
should be ready.
Are we ready to bid?
If you're ready mentally.
Okay.
That's like mentally. The main question. Yeah. Are you ready?
Okay. Now this is another thing, because a lot of people think that federal contracts is the only way. This is primarily for federal contracting. This whole description is federal. This is only for federal, but you can do state, county, local, whatever government, and you can be supplying. Yeah, you can be supplying pencils for your high school that you're close to, or whatever, or computers for whatever classroom. So it's a lot of different other ways to like get set up to do contracting, but this was for the federal side. Right. So it's plenty of ways. You can get money doing all of them, right? Yeah. Okay, so now you're ready to bid. Yeah. What website do they go look for contracts? So the main site where contracts are held, whether they're awarded or they're looking for bid solicitations or information, RFIs, is beta.sam.gov. So don't mistake it with SAM.gov that you registered. It's beta.sam.gov are where all the contracts are held. So it's an extremely user-friendly. It's not user-friendly at all. Understatement. So I would suggest people actually look at a YouTube video to find out how to get through the site. We should do a YouTube video. Oh, man. We should do a YouTube video and have you show, I could. And there's a lot of little... Work on it. There's a lot of little intricacies in there to find information from previous bids in order for you to know what you're looking at. I think the main thing when you're first getting in there and you don't know what you're doing is to get the verbiage. Like, I know I do landscaping, but what are they actually looking for? Usually landscaping comes with irrigation. It comes with treatment of pests and stuff like that. So okay, I do landscaping, but I need to also provide these other services because that's usually what they're looking for. So you go on the site and just type in landscaping and see what you can see. Now, would you suggest, because can you see other contracts that were won? Yeah. Well, not the contract, but you can see the solicitation was awarded. Okay. And so would it be good to find some previous contracts that were, is there a way to find previous contracts that were won to kind of copy? Yeah, I ain't gonna say copy. Everybody. I would. But no, on beta.sam, definitely not. Okay, but somewhere else. There are some services, some very expensive services out there that you can pay to get previous contracts. Examples. Yeah. I mean, you can Google some. That's what I'm wondering. Like, is there somewhere we can go? It's not a big. That's what I would do. I would Google previously won government contracts for. You won't typically find them. You won't find the previous government contracts. Like, you won't find those. Okay. You'll find a contract that you can use that might be geared toward commercial, and then you can kind of just play with that. Really, the government wants to, whatever the government says in that solicitation is what they want. So just like when you did your resume and and it says must be able to set up a help desk with minimal assistance. You're gonna say we can set up a help desk, by ourselves with minimal assistance. So you're just kind of flipping the words for the most part. You're always looking for must and shall. That's what the government is basically saying they want. Don't just throw your blanket RFP in there and it has nothing to do with what they're asking, because they're just going to take all that work that you spent 3 weeks on and throw it in the trash, literally, or send it back to you. So musts are musts. Must are musts. Have to be in there. Yes, and shall is a must. Yeah, shall is a must. Yeah. Let's clear that up. Shall is a must. Right. So, I mean, really, you have to do it. And
there's a little magic to it. So, you know, it's not a cookie cutter type thing.
So the way I am,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all can take this for what it is. I don't know how many people y'all know, but if it's me, I'm looking for somebody like Sheena who's already won contracts and knows this process. And I would be whoever you are. I ain't saying go. I ain't saying go hound her. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you know somebody who's in that space, or maybe you need to get into these groups, because they have groups with people.
There's groups, GovCon groups.
And so I'd be trying to get in a group, or if like, let's say you want to do local contracting.
Now that's different. Now
Right.
you're not going to typically have to write anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's easier in a sense.
Yeah, but still, they've never seen the process. So I would say, like, if the guy who has a contract to cut the grass in the school system, and you know it's an independent contractor, what was your process to do this? Like, did you have to go through this, or whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do? If it's construction, like, how did y'all get this contract? Okay, you're a subcontractor. Who's the main contractor? Like, just get out there and start asking questions.
The power of asking questions.
You know, I mean, because I'm gonna be asking her. You know, for this federal, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, you know, but this ain't your Sheena. You know what I mean? Y'all got to get your own Sheena, you know?
It's funny. But, you know, I want to share the gospel.
She's been trying to help as many people as possible.
I do. I really want to help people. It's just certain things we talked earlier about, like, you can kind of get on your own. I don't do courses at all. I'm not interested in doing any courses. There are plenty of courses out there that people can seek, and that might be the route, because some people need to see step by step, like look at it and implement, look at it and implement. I'm here to kind of give the good, bad, and ugly, because it's not all rainbows and Skittles. It's very, very challenging. And I would say one of the main things people need to understand is they have to know how to have a business. Like, if you can't just start and say, "Ooh, I want to do government contracting because it sounds so sexy. I get $10 million off the rip." They want $10 million worth of work. You know, like, this is not a fly by night. Some people were able to slide in there with the PPE. I think we talked about that last time.
Right.
They slid right in there, and then they were like, "Oh my goodness, never mind," because it was just way too much. So you just have to make sure that you're set up as a business for real.
Right, and also, you know, don't undercut yourself. You know, some people trying to win contracts, and they're
you'll be paying the government to work. Basically.
Right. You know, it's something that should cost $300,000, and you trying to just make sure you get it in there. And you're like, well, shoot, I make $40,000 a year. You know, I do this, I get this done for $100.
Do
they
it.
give me $100, but you know, you're not able to really come to live up to that. You know, for that amount. So be it what it really is, or what's competitive, you know, but don't kill yourself trying to get in there.
And that comes with research too, because I mean, you always want to know what the previous one was, and if the scope has not changed, then okay, they were able to make it work. Can I make that work? Like, know your prices, because you literally, like, for me, I don't perform most of my stuff. Like, I don't perform the physical. I'll perform, you know, the other 51% mandatory, but you know, I know I cannot pay someone a certain amount, because there's the wage determination too. So that's regulated by law.
Right.
So you're not going to pay them $5 an hour because you picked them up, you know, from Home Depot. You're not doing that, because they have a regulation in place for this to prevent that.
Yeah, I saw people who had, believe it or not, cleaning companies that couldn't even do, and the contract sounded big, but with everything that they were asked to do,
they went in red.
Yeah, because they're thinking like, "Oh, I'm finna kill this," like, but it was like, "Oh man, this is a nightmare. I didn't charge enough.
Yeah,
I didn't charge. Oh, I didn't know I had to supply all of this other stuff, you know, bags or whatever they had to,
everything,
you know. And so
it adds up, gas.
You know, other employees, and having to pay them appropriately and not just shoot them something for, you know. So there was a lot of stuff that was going on.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. It's still great though. I
Yeah,
don't want to discourage anyone, but you know, it's a good way to get your bit.
I'm saying don't undercharge yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, if you then you wasted, like, essentially so much time. You know, it's really about research. It's really about this is not a fly by night. This is not, I woke up this morning and now I want to do government contracting. This is a commitment.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you think like your first contract can be like 5 million or 100,000 or 2 million, whatever it is, and coming from where you coming from, like you're really a business now. Like you're really out here. So, you know, you can make some serious money, and contracts usually grow over time from what I was told. Like
they can.
You can come in, get your first contract at 200,000, and then next year they gonna give you $1 million contract. The year after that, they're gonna give you a $5 million. You know, not necessarily doing the same function. They're just trusting you more because you have a history of showing that you've done these things.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of them are base and then +4. That's 5 years. So you can always, I mean, it's built into the solicitation where you add your prices based on inflation and everything. But then also in between time, they may say, hey, you can use a simplified acquisition program where it's under 750,000, and they'll just swipe the card. Yeah. They're like, we need these blinds cleaned. Do you do blinds? Okay, boom, swipe. Nice. Now you added more to this It's not even a contract, really. You're still doing your main contract, but you're also adding more because you're there physically there looking at these people. So
I'm gonna definitely get her to do some more of these videos. You know, you want to tell them where to find you? The time is running out, so we got to close the video out. But you want to tell them where to find you?
Sheena Parker on LinkedIn is my preferred.
Sheena Parker on LinkedIn.
That's my preferred. I am on IG.
Okay. She don't want to tell you that right now.
Sheenapreneur on IG.
Sheenapreneur on IG.
Yeah.
And Sheena Parker on LinkedIn. If you're serious, hit on LinkedIn. Okay?
Hit me on LinkedIn.
All right. Right now you're watching Casino Is the Name, man, and we out.
All right.
Hey, yo, what's going on? Right now you're watching Casino Is the Name, and if you want to know how I started my trucking business, I have an ebook called Big Shot, Hot Shot, Volume 1, Own Your Trucking Authority. The link is going to be in the description. It'll pretty much tell you everything from if to taxes to different types of trailers and all sorts of things. It's a great book, 5-star reviews. Link will be in the description. Go get it. Yeah.
Beat me up, Scotty. Beat me up, Scotty.
Me and her together, we just count it up. Money on my mind, I can't get enough. Don't play with my money, you don't want no beef. Cause I come from the bottom, I come from the street. When she first saw me, she said, who is that? When a man saw me, he called me a threat. I'm the one that really live with a rap. They ain't never did it, they ain't really trap.
You say you want to be successful, but what's stopping you? Can't nothing stop you from being successful except for you. You standing in your own way. I came from the bottom. I ain't know nothing but the grind. You can't tell me nothing about that. I called the Busted Basin Street Projects in Tallahassee, Florida. You hear me? I used to think $1 million would last me my whole life. I'd have made that and spent that. $1 million ain't enough.
There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name.